What's up, everybody? This is the Board Game Roamer, and we're here with another playthrough. We're continuing our Inn of the Black Boar. We've done pretty well so far, I think. We've completed kind of the first, chapter, you would say. And we're now going to continue in with the second chapter. And this time around, I'll probably be doing a little less explanation. Just because, like I said, we've kind of already completed the first chapter. So we've gone through really everything that we're going to do, that cycle, as it were. So now we're just going to, play through the rest of the chapter here. So we've got our heroes. We completed the first chapter, and we completed the first fight against the Goblins. So now we're going to go into the interlude. So the first part was called the prologue. Now we're going into the interlude, level 2, chapter 2. Basically. And let's see, make sure, we've already done everything at the end that we're supposed to do. Okay, so what happens in chapter 2, level 2? You leave the quiet area of the underground complex behind you and enter an area with a lot of activity. You can clearly make out noises from different directions that sound as if someone is mining here. Carefully, you continue on your way, and when you turn a corner, you suddenly stand in front of a small goblin. The creature freezes when he sees you, and thick beads of sweat run down his face. When the goblin realizes that you don't intend to kill him on the spot, he relaxes a little and greets you with a crooked grin. Hello, my name is Parkatrack. I would advise you not to go another step. You ask him why, and he explains to you that his job down here is to keep the mine traps working, and such a trap is in the very passage you are about to enter. So it says each hero makes a knowledge roll. So I'll take a couple of dice here. We'll say green is for Nirax, and red is for Hagen. And let's see what happens. Alright, so knowledge is an 8. So actually Nirax makes his. Hagen, knowledge also an 8. Doesn't make his. Wow, and I believe, if I'm doing this right, if I'm doing this right, that means that our success, Nirax, you look sharply at the goblin and realize that he is telling the truth. You'd rather not go any further at this point. But Hagen doesn't believe him. And remember, if I remember correctly, I think that since we didn't use a torch, that's going to be a critical fail. Let me double check that. Okay, nope, I was wrong. It's only for dungeon rolls, so it's just a failure. So for Hagen, the goblin cannot be trusted. You continue on your way and hear a treacherous click before the ceiling collapses down on you. Since you are not completely unprepared, you can jump back in time, but are hit by a few stone splinters and lose 2 health. So we're at 40. That put us to 38. Should have listened. Now that you can see the Parkatrack told the truth, you ask him for an alternate route. He leads you a few yards back down the passage you came from and shows you a secret door that you can bypass the trap. Then he pauses for a moment before saying, "Everyone treats me badly down here. Just because I'm smaller than them, they think that they can make me do all their dirty work and they don't give me anything to eat. My life is horrible. That goblin's hoarse voice grows as intense with indignation that it's almost amusing. I'll tell you what, Prakachak continues. I know many traps and secret passages here. I'll get you out of here if you promise to let me go. Afterwards, you think for a while, goblins are not very trustworthy creatures, but Prakachak did honestly warn you of the first trap, and you let him go later, it won't do much damage to the world. One goblin more or less doesn't make a difference. You agree, and Prakachak jumps for joy. Then you go deeper into the mountain towards the exit. Okay, so now we do the second dungeon exploration. And I've already got the level 2 cards prepared here. It says you use all dungeon cards marked level 2. You also encounter enslaved dwarves and cave balls who can become friends or enemies. Okay, so that's new. And those cards are here. So these are cards. Well, let me show you down here. So these cards basically have a friend side or an enemy side and then a friend side. And depending on the counters that are on them is going to determine what they are. And they're going to help attack or defend during the combat and the explorations and whatnot. So that's cool. So it says, assemble time card, use all dungeon cards marked level 2. You also encounter enslaved dwarves and cave bolds who become friends or enemies. Place the 2 cards, enslaved dwarves and enslaved cave bolds, on the table with the friend side face up. Good, they at least start as buddies. So we'll put those right here for now. And it says use all level 2 cards. Okay, so we've got that there. Over here is our dungeon card deck. Put it right there. And I think that's it. So let's start with the first card. Of course, it is a trap. Pitfall trap. This dead end was booby-trapped by the goblins with a well-hidden pitfall. The surroundings, you have no choice noticing it before it drops away and lets you plunge into the depths. Fortunately, they weren't bloodthirsty enough to equip the ground with sharpened sticks, but nevertheless, you suffer some nasty abrasions from your fall. Each hero loses 1d6. Yuck. Alright, so let's do this. We'll say green and red. That's orange. Green and... Actually. So, green die will be Nirax. Red die will be Hagen. Everybody suffers. Oh, crap. That's a 6 and a 6. So that's 34 for Nirax, and that takes Hagen down to 32. Yikes. Next card, Quarreling Slaves Challenge. Oh, let's put this over here. Quarreling Slaves Challenge. A nasty quarrel's flared up between a group of dwarves and cave bolts. You can take one side or try to mediate. Okay. So we can either basically make a friend out of one of these guys and an enemy out of the other, or we can try to mediate with a persuasion roll. We have a 12 persuasion for Nirax and a 10. Wow. So if we critically succeed, They both become friends, and we get a loot card. If we succeed, they just both become friendly. If we fail, they both are enemies. If we critically fail, they're both enemies, and we both lose 2 health. Let's have a 12. Let's risk it, and because we don't want to lose any health, let's go ahead and spend one of this to make it in the light. Seems kind of weird, but I think that's how that works. It's my understanding. And Nirax will be rolling. We're going to choose to mediate and hope this comes out well. Oh my lord. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's I almost grabbed the wrong die. 7. So we did succeed. So we don't get anything special. So instead, they at least both get a friend token, which means they're both still friends, and we're not going to have to fight them later. Fortunately, that would be bad. That would have been bad for enemies, and would be bad. Alright, next card. Dwarven Worker Gang Decision. One hero makes a stealth roll. So we can, depending on this roll, possibly negate our slay dwarf hero, undo the mediation we just did, basically. Persuasion. Again, Nirax has a 12. I'm going to go ahead and not use a torch to do it in the light, because if we fail, then it just makes the dwarves neutral as far as like how much they like us or not like us. So we'll we'll just do that. Let's see what happens. A 2. Nice. Okay, so that is a success, almost a critical success. So we get one more friendship token on the dwarves. I think they're gonna help us. That's what I'm hoping. Alright, cool. Very good, very good. Next card. A group of exhausted kobolds. Kobold Quarters Decision. A group of exhausted kobolds is cramped into this cave. One hero makes a persuasion roll +4 per token on the enslaved kobold's card. Which one? +4 friendship. Okay. Critical success. We get this Dungeon Lore card success. Actually, we already have this, so. Yeah. Yeah, because you can never have more than one of those. Regular success, you gain the cave balls as allies, or failure, we place 2 enemies tokens on the cave balls. A critical failure, we do that and take a d6. Well, we don't want critical failure. We don't want to take damage, so we're going to spend another one of these torch tokens again. Let's do Nirax. One hero makes a persuasion roll. So it says +4 per. So I'm assuming that means that my persuasion would be 4 higher. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comments. So my actual persuasion would be 16. So surely, oh my lord. 19, so that's a failure. They had you place 2. That's gross. 2 enemy tokens. Man. That is just... So, what does that mean? Alright, so really, what that means is the hostile token, which is what it's actually called, the hostile token is going to cancel out this friend token, so we're going to take those off, which leaves us 1 hostile token, which means now we have to flip this over to the enemy side. So they potentially are going to be fighting us in the the normal combat that we're going to do. And at least we didn't take damage, I guess. I was really hoping we could, with that +4 especially. Alright, a random hero receives this card as a hero title card until the end of this adventure. All of his hero survival skill rolls receives a +3. Everybody else gets a +1. A random hero, okay. Okay, so 1 to 3, 4 to 6. That's funny. Well, that kind of works out. He's got a slightly worse. Cool. So I'm going to put this way. So he's actually got now a +3 to survival. So he's actually got a 11, and everybody else gets a +1. So, well, now they both have 11. There you go. Everybody's survival's now on 11. All right. Let's see here. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're in the bottom 5. So at any point, and I could have, by the way, on these cards, opted to not evaluate them right then. I just decided to go ahead and evaluate them. Pull another one. Let's see what happens. So at any point in time here, we could potentially pull. We could potentially pull an alarm card. Rotten supporting beams challenge. You have to carefully edge your way around this obstacle. Let each hero makes a craft roll. Okay. Critical success. So critical success. At success, additionally, 1 hero of your choice may change a failure into a success. Okay, so if somebody critically succeeds, then it's at least a success. Success, we work our way successfully. Failure, we can lose 2, or critical failure, we can lose a D6. A craft roll. And it's each hero. Golly. He's only got an 8. He's got a 10. I'm thinking maybe no. Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge, so let's not deal with it for now. So I'm going to set it. Going to set it right here. If it's a challenge, we have that option. If it's not a challenge, then we have to do it, because that's potentially more damage, and I really don't. Oh, well, there's the alarm card. Orcs. So we're going to be dealing with some orkies. Alright, so when that happens, then anything that we haven't challenge-wise used, resolved, gets discarded. All the rest of the alarm cards get discarded, which is unfortunate, because it's really unfortunate, because we could have used that. Alright, I'm going to put that alarm card there. And there's level 2. Alright, so we picked orcs. So we're going to go into the book here, find the section for orcs. Here we go. Alright, orcs. During your escape, wait, let's see. Am I in the right place? Yeah. During your escape, you meet dwarves and cave bolts who have their dreary existence as mind slaves. Some of them are willing to join you, while others react hostile towards your attempts to communicate. After a while, you're able to piece the fragmented information together and make sense of what's going on down here. You have stumbled into a secret silver mine used by Count Grotho Grifax and his mercenaries to make counterfeit money and finance their war plans. You must find a way out of this underground labyrinth to expose the insidious Count and free his slaves. A big help is the goblin Paracatrak, who has already guided you past some traps and now leads you along a secret corridor towards the exit. Each hero makes a willpower roll. And remember, this is not in the dungeon, so we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Willpower. So on the green die, willpower is a 12, and on the red, a 10 for Hagen. Okay, so Hagen fails and Grifax makes it. Okay, so success. You almost got lulled by the Paracatrak, but when a floor slab sinks in below you and immediately realizes you've fallen into a trap, with a bold jump, you get yourself to safety while half of the ceiling collapses behind you. And failure. You have allowed yourself to be lulled into feeling safe and pay for your inattention with a few bruises. When a part of the ceiling comes loose, crashes down on you, lose 2. So Hagen loses 2 and goes to 30. Paracatrak runs away from you, cackling loudly. You are hot on his heels until you reach a room full of mining tools where a large band of orcs have lain in wait. The goblin takes cover behind them. Don't forget Ogon Scimitar's words. The goblin must survive, one of the orcs shouts. While the cold pelts are attacking you, they shield the goblin from your anger. This is twice annoying for you, because not only would you love to give this little bugger a whipping for betraying you, but he also took advantage of your trust to relieve you of your most precious equipment. Alright, so we assemble the time skill cards. We already have that. We have to... Oh, we got some additional stuff. We have... well, you know what? Let me just get all this together, and then I will be right back.